Well, Alex Neil, it's I really don't know what to say after that. You found another way of losing a game. It must be so frustrating.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think that the players gave their all. I don't think anybody could have any criticism of the players today. I think they worked their absolute socks off. I thought we created the best chances in the game. I thought the shape was excellent. I thought we limited them to very little. I thought we kept our best players really quiet throughout the match, and I thought we had some real good performances throughout our side. And when you take all that into account, 9 times out of 10 you walk away with normally the 3 points, or certainly at least a point. But we didn't stop a cross coming into our box with, I think, a minute and a half on the clock to go, and unfortunately ended up in the back of the net. So I'm gutted for the players in this one, and also for the fans that have travelled up here. And I hope that they're going home and relatively sort of satisfied with the display that the boys put in, because I thought they worked extremely hard for us today.
I'm sure that Leicester goal will be pulled apart with a fine tooth comb by supporters who've seen replays, but I'm sure you've seen it again. Is the biggest mistake that the cross wasn't prevented then?
Yeah, I think the ball goes into Mahrez and we could have squeezed the ball. We sort of half squeeze it and then we decide to drop off, and I don't know if it was maybe just tired legs or tired minds, but up until that point in the game we'd been sort of pressing the ball well and getting up and getting after it, and not allowing them to turn and pick passes, and unfortunately at that stage we drop a little bit too deep, let them work it wide, and then it's a good cross into the box, but we didn't defend it well enough. And it's really tough to take, because we dealt with that type of cross and that type of movement throughout the game for 89 minutes, so it wasn't as if it was anything new, but the one time that it really mattered we didn't do it.
You've strived for a balance this season between looking solid at the back and also creating chances going forward. The 3 central defenders today seem to give you that.
Yeah, I think it's always easier when you're playing against 2 up top though. We're playing against sort of Okazaki, who sort of half drops in, and Vardy, who wants to stretch the game. So we felt just to give ourselves a little bit of depth with the sweeper, and I thought Russell Martin carried that out extremely well today. And then when you've got Alex and Johnny certainly performing as they did today, it makes their job a lot easier as well. I thought Johnny Howson was absolute standout in the pitch. I thought he was fantastic.
You've talked a lot this season about fine margins and quality at both ends of the pitch, and you did have chances to take the lead in that game today, didn't you? Yeah,
I think, to be honest, that game of the day probably sums us up. I think it's summed our season up so far, in terms of the best chances felt with us. We had the best opportunities to score. We didn't score, and then when you need to make a sort of a crucial decision or just sort of continue doing what you've been doing, we sort of go to sleep for literally one move and it ends up in the back of our net. So, but I'm not going to dwell on it too much. We've got a game on Tuesday against Chelsea, and I think if the lads continue to put that type of effort in and fight like that and have some real sort of, I thought we had some standout performers today. I think if we've got them and the game's coming up, then we should be in good shape.
All that is true, but you lost the game to a late sucker punch, and you've had 2 goal leads disappear recently. You've had other late goals. How many times can the players bounce back? Because psychologically this all has to build up, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what are you going to do? You're going to roll over and give up. So no, we're in the Premier League. We're not in the bottom 3. We're fighting for our lives and we want to stay in the Premier League, so we certainly won't give up until the season's done. So as far as I'm concerned, a win in the next game then changes everything again. So it's funny how in this league things can change from week to week, so we need to make sure that we change it for ourselves, because it doesn't get handy to you.
Will Wes Hoolahan or Sebastian Bassong be back for Tuesday?
I'm not sure yet. We'll need to monitor them and see how they are over the next day or so.